Many of our followers on our YouTube channel have been asking questions about Guru Padmasambhava, the LOTUS-BORN Master. I've seen these questions appearing across the internet. And so I'll try and just give a very brief summary, really, of who he was, what he achieved, and how that's affecting us today. So Guru Padmasambhava, the LOTUS-BORN Master, lived sometime in the 8th century. Okay, it is said he was born on a lotus on Lake Danashka, where King Indrabhuti was going to seek a pearl of wisdom after his wealth of his kingdom was depleted and of his own frustration at not having a successor and heir. And there, lo and behold, he found the young Guru on a lotus. And at this moment, the Guru said several things to Indrabhuti. When Indrabhuti asked who he was, where he was from, he really broke down the essence of Dzogchen, in that I am, my food is thoughts. I eat my thoughts. There are no thoughts. My home is the Dharmakaya, the Dharmadhatu. He essentially, in a few lines, summarized the teachings that he would bring to the world. Now, Guru Padmasambhava then grew up in the royal palace. He was a prince. He was being prepared to be the successor to the throne and the king of Odhyana, when he decided, like Shakyamuni before him, to go into the charnel grounds, to leave the palace. He contrived an incident that got him banned from the palace, and of course he went to Bihar. So he went to Bihar, he went to Bodh Gaya, he went to the carnal grounds, and the 8 carnal grounds, which symbolized 8 points of the mandala, 8 entry points into the field. And there he took on his different manifestations. And he had 8 manifestations, and each of these 8 manifestations represented a different stage of his own enlightenment, his own achievement, his own accomplishments, the miracles or things that he achieved. And also from our expeditions, the question that we've been asking is, does 8 manifestations represent 8 quantum energy fields? Because the essence of his teachings, if we take away all of the ritual and all of the magic, the essence of his teachings was Dzogchen. It was to cut through the obstacles of the mind to get to the inner self, which in itself is the access code to the entire universe, emptiness. And this was his teaching, and of course he used different methods. And throughout his stay in the charnel ground, training under different great yogis of the time, he pulled together the quintessential best aspects of each of their training systems, putting it together as his own. And then he brought Vajrayana Buddhism, which already existed. There were many great Vajrayana masters, but what he did was he brought this and the techniques that he had evolved himself, such as the Purba, where he took different types of Purba methodologies that all were in existence in India, and he collected them and streamlined them into one system that would become his system and his enlightenment system. And then he brought Buddhism into Tibet on the request of King Trisandets, who was trying to solidify the Buddhist position over the Bon court. And he then had to deal with all of the Bon conflicts. And many cases we look at his stories and legends as crushing demons, obstacles, but in many ways what he was doing was he was clearing the demons of people's mind. In many ways what he was doing was saying that in Bun they have many mountains that are their deities, and lakes symbolizing the Yab and the Yum, the male aspects. Again, it's similar to Hindu. It's the lingam, it's the phallus, it's the mountain, it's the energy system that exists with electro fields, and the lake, which is more magnetic, feminine, water, more of a emptiness oneness factor, and the two together always symbolizes the yin-yang aspect. And he was very, very clear what he was doing. He went into the one court and he went to all of the areas and said, look, these deities have no conflict with Buddhism at all. They're our protectors. Buddhism's broad matrix of philosophy, of understanding the human existence within the phenomena of nature and finding a middle path to be able to live with oneself and others, and also to be able to face one's own death without attachment. And so if we think of this as a broad philosophical framework, within it are many, many aspects of subcultures and the quantum physics that they understood, such as Hindu aspects, Taoist aspects, Bon aspects, shamanistic. All of these are embedded and embraced within what we call today Tibetan Buddhism. And this was really where his power came through, because he had this charismatic personality where he could actually bring all these things together into one system. And then that system, because it encompassed so many subsystems, could be accepted by all.